The secret message hidden behind these numbers can be decrypted with the help of the book Mary Poppins. First of all, search on Google Mary Poppins book in English PDF and then try to decrypt the text. At the end of the video, I will reveal the solution. The process of encryption and decryption of a text is called cryptology. Ever since I was little, I've always been interested in cryptology, and I used to find coding messages fascinating. I've read many books, such as the Da Vinci Code, and watched many films about it. And that's why today I want to introduce you to this interesting world. There are various ways of communicating, but since ancient times, humans have tried to keep some of their communications secret to third parties. Cryptology was born to satisfy this need of maintaining the secrecy. Cryptology is the study of both cryptography, the use of messages concealed by codes or ciphers, and cryptanalysis, the breaking of coding messages. However, for now, we will be focusing on cryptography. Its origins are attributed to steganography, the mere hiding of the contents of a message. For example, in ancient Persia, the secret message was written on the sheep skull of a slave, which, when the hair had grown back, was sent to the recipient. The word cryptography comes from two Greek words, cryptos, which means hidden, and graphein, which means writing. In other words, this discipline aims to hide sensitive information from the peeping eyes of third parties. Cryptography takes a plain text, also known as a clear text, and turns it into something that can only be understood by the intended receivers, since they know the key to decipher it. Anyone else who somehow gets their hands on this piece of information shouldn't be able to understand it. The practice of turning a plain text into a ciphertext is called encryption. Cryptography is as old as writing itself. The earliest forms were found in the regions surrounding Egypt, Greece, and Rome. The ancients felt the natural need to communicate secretly, especially in times of war. One of the oldest forms of cryptography is the shibboleth. It was used by the Spartans around 400 BC, and it consists in wrapping a sheet of papyrus around a stick and writing the message down the length of the stick. The sheet was then unwrapped, and the message would thus be meaningless. To decipher the message, the receiver was required to wrap the papyrus around a stick of the same diameter. Another cryptographic system is the Atbash cipher, used by the Jewish scribes to encode names of people and places, such as Chaldeans and Babel. The cipher works on the principle of monoalphabetic substitution. The first letter of the alphabet is replaced with the last, the second with the penultimate, and so on. Another example of a monoalphabetic substitution cipher is the famous Caesar shift cipher. It relies on shifting the letters of a message by an agreed number. For instance, Caesar used the number 3. Then the recipient of this message would shift the letters back by the same number and obtain the original message. The art and science of cryptography did not show any major advancement until the Middle Ages. Given that the roads of Europe were plagued with highway robbers, secrecy in communication was of the utmost importance. At this time, Leon Battista Alberti, an Italian mathematician, invented the cipher disk, that is the first polyalphabetic cipher system. In this method, two copper disks which fit into each other were used. Each copper disk had the alphabet inscribed on it, so that there were two different alphabets. One is the alphabet in which the original message was written, while the second is a totally different alphabet used by the encrypted text. In this way, the security of the encrypted information was totally assured. If the reader did not know the alphabet in which the message was originally written, the deciphering was not possible. This method went through a lot of changes, and most of these changes are attributed to Vigenère, who strengthened it. Another pioneer of cryptography is obviously Leonardo da Vinci, who wrote his notes with mirror writing and used simple ciphers. Also, Mary Stuart used cryptography. While she was imprisoned by Queen Elizabeth I, she used a monoalphabetic substitution cipher, to communicate with plotters that wanted to dethrone Elizabeth herself. The decryption of the system led to her beheading in 1587. Later on, during World War II, both cryptography and cryptanalysis became excessively mathematical. Afterwards, when Claude Shannon entered the field, the modern age of cryptography began, and from that moment on, it was considered a real science. At the same time, the so-called one-time path system was born and became the basis of modern cryptography. This is believed to be the only method for achieving perfect encryption and consists in using a key of the same length as the message to be encrypted. Encryption systems guarantee our privacy, which is the most important thing nowadays. People working in the field of good cryptography teach us reliability, seriousness, professionalism, and trust. Only in this way our work can work, and I hope that everyone will understand this. Were you able to decrypt my message at the beginning of the video? If you hadn't, here's the solution. Sometimes it is the people no one can imagine anything of who do the things no one can imagine. This is a quote from Alan Turing. He was a mathematician and a cryptographer. He played a key role during World War II by cracking the Enigma code in order to defeat the Germans. If you want to know more about this story, I recommend you to watch the film The Imitation Game. Bye everybody, I hope you loved my video, and by the way, I'm Lucia Perini from Italy. Bye!